Dude, that's freaking interesting, man. That's freaking interesting.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kirk Anthony 13, as you well know. And I just have one message that I like to share with you today. I'd like to share this message with you. This message is, shut the fuck up about your fucking weight. It means nothing. Okay? Weight means nothing. Okay. Kirk, you a fucking liar. Weight means something. Alright, it means something. But it's so unreliable. It fluctuates. There's so many factors that determine what your weight is. In one day, you might wake up 6 a.m., you ain't drank nothing, it was hot that evening, you're dehydrated, and you weigh 150. Then you eat breakfast, you have some water, blah, 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 maybe something salty, now you weigh 155. Then hours pass and something happens, you've been sweating, now you weigh 154. Then you weigh yourself later, then you're 159, and whatever the fuck. Then you go work out, you do some cardio, now you weigh 148. You're like, oh, I lost fucking 10 pounds. Nigga, your weight fluctuates all day long for all kind of factors. Let's get into that.
That's freaking interesting, man. That's freaking interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about your weight looking lean or looking soft. Okay? You heard you can lose a lot of weight doing the keto diet. Okay, so keto diet is a high fat, high protein, low carb diet. Okay? Almost no carbs. In this diet, immediately you're going to lose a lot of weight because when you pull the carbohydrates out, you're taking water and you're taking glycogen with it. Okay? Glycogen is basically a vehicle for glucose to get into the muscle. Water takes it into the muscle as well. Well, the glycogen in the glucose bring water into the muscle. That's called intermuscular. And then there's intramuscular. So you have about 55-65% water inside your muscle and outside your muscle when your muscle has the full capacity of water. Now, when you take carbohydrates out of your diet, now you're going to have more water outside the muscle, and your actual muscle is going to be what's called flat. Okay? That's going to give you a softer look. So even though you get on the scale and you're like, whoopee, I just lost 20 fucking pounds. Not really, and you look like shit. Okay? You need to have carbs in your diet. You need to have sodium and potassium in your diet because these things help balance the water and they help keep your muscle full and tight. You understand? It gives you an athletic look. When you're training and you're eating and you're doing all this shit to achieve a certain look, that's what's called aesthetics. You're training for the way it looks. If you're just training for weight, there's a lot of ways to just lose weight. You could lose fucking 20 pounds today if you really fucked yourself up. You really want to fuck yourself up and lose weight, you can do that shit today. Okay? Losing weight is not necessarily what your actual goal is. Maybe you saw somebody and they had an athletic look and you were like, I need to lose weight, because you don't really know what you're looking at. Okay? When you look at a tree and you don't know, you never heard of leaves or bark, you just see tree. I want tree, right? But you don't understand that there's leaves and branches and bark and what type of tree. You don't really know what you're looking at unless you're an expert or you've been educated on it. So that's why people are so focused on the scale. I must be achieving the body or the look I want because I've lost a certain amount of weight. If I can just get back to 140 pounds, I'll look the way I want to look. No, because you're not doing it in the correct way. And if you're doing it because you saw somebody and they had an athletic look, then you're really not going to do it if you're focused on weight. Your weight is going to fluctuate, okay? depending on the water that you're drinking, the balance of sodium and potassium, and how much carbohydrates are in your body. It's going to give you a certain look.
Oh, that's freaking interesting, man. That's freaking interesting.
So, Mr. Kirk, okay, you don't want me to just focus on weight. Well, what the fuck do you suggest I do? Since you know every fucking thing, if it's not about weight, what am I supposed to do? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing or not? I'm glad you asked. So your weight is just 1/3 of the relevant data of what's gonna tell you what your body is doing, how you're gonna navigate your fitness journey, how you're gonna make decisions. Should we up the protein? Should we drop the protein? Should we up the carbs? Should we do more cardio? Should we do less cardio? Should we eat more fats? What the fuck are we doing here? Weight is just 1/3 of that relevant data. What you need to track is your weight. Now, when you track your weight, the best time to track your weight would be in the morning. When you wake up, you're gonna go take a piss, possibly a shit, and then you weigh yourself for 7 days straight. And then you take an average. Women, don't do that when you're menstruating. Maybe do it 2 weeks after or 2 weeks before. Because you know you got that week before and that week after, and y'all got all this shit going on. Sucks being a female. But do it in the morning. Take an average of your week in the morning. That's gonna be closer to your real weight, which really doesn't fucking matter. You just wanna see if the weight is going down, and it's gonna trend down. It's gonna go up and it'll trend down. Number 2, you're gonna do circumference measurements, or inches. Measurements around your belly button, your thigh, your arm, your hips, possibly your calves. There's a lot of places you can do them. I personally, belly button, hip bone, thigh, where either your thumb or your middle finger, and then your arm at the biggest part of your arm. Those are the 4 places that I will typically measure with tape measure. That can be influence too. So we're not going to stop there. The 3rd thing you're going to do is your body fat percentage, and don't use the little hand thing because that's influenced by water. It's called bioelectrical impedance. Depending on how much water you drink, how much sweat you just lost, if you do it after your workout, before your workout, you just ate or whatever, it's going to influence that. So do the pinch, do the calipers, because that one's going to be key. There's also one you can go get done at a doctor, and they like submerge you in water. It seems like a big hullabaloo to fucking just go get your body fat. Do the pinch, do the tape, and track your weight in the morning, or track your weight at the same time when you're pretty much in the same routine, like what I do with my clients. So whenever I see them, that's about the time we're gonna weigh. It doesn't really matter if it's their true weight or not. What I wanna see is if it's going up, going down, and I wanna see it in comparison to the other 3 things. We watch what the other 2 things are doing, what all these 3 things are doing combined, and we can get an idea. Is the diet working? Is the cardio working? Is everything going in the direction it should be? And then we're gonna look at them. Let's look at you. What do you look like? Do you look athletic? Can I see definition in your arms? Can I see some shoulders? Can we see some obliques? Can we see the abdomen? Is there any split in your quads? Is there any split between your hamstring and your quads? Is your face thinning out? What do you look like? That's the transformation, not just weight. If you look like a big blob of shit, and then you lose 20 pounds, you look like a small blob of shit, is that what you want to look like? No. You want to look fit. You're going to the gym. You're doing all these fucking curls and all this hard shit in rows and all kinds of working out, but you still look like a blob of shit? What's the point of that? Why are you doing that? That don't make no sense. If you're going not necessarily to look like a bodybuilding superstar or look, like extreme, but still, don't you want to have a athletic looking physique? Don't you want to look like you lift some weights? If that's not important to you, fine, go ahead and focus on weight. But even then, you're just gonna tear up muscle tissue, slow down your metabolism, okay? So the main point to walk away from this is don't get so obsessed about weight. It's not telling you the whole story, and it isn't necessarily gonna give you the goal that you're trying to achieve. If your goal is to look a certain way, all right? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a good day. I hope all your dreams come true. And if you don't like me, your mama.